ring the damn dinner bell. It's Dokkan's 10th anniversary, and we've got some big reveals coming from the data download on JP. I believe Global is yet to get it. I've already done my missions for the day, so I've closed the app. But as I'm looking through this, the speculation for Goku and Vegeta just got really compelling. Not that I think they'd spoil the 10th anniversary through this red zone, but let's talk about why Goku and Vegeta as two of the anniversary headliners makes a lot of sense. It dials into this question that people have been begging, which is, what if they did a Goku unit and a Vegeta unit who travel through each of their forms, but with peak animations? If you can remember the God Vegeta and God Goku units who have just archaic animations by current Dokkan standards, they've never really been given a quality premium unit, and this is something they could look into. As we see here, Truth is tweeting about the updates from the current download, essentially, and this is just saying that there will be a Goku Story Edition, there will be a Vegeta Story Edition, and these will be going by arc. So I assume the Saiyan Saga you fight Goku, Planet Namek you'd fight Frieza or Kui, Vegeta does nothing but fight in that arc, right? Android and Cell Saga, he obviously pummels 19, gets beat up by 18, etc., and a little bit of Cell here and there. The reason I think this is kind of interesting is because there's clearly a once Easy Aid and premium unit who has never gotten modern Dokkan animations, and more so Vegeta, if you remember from the poll I looked at a few videos ago, is around the popularity of Goku by the end of Super, if not ahead of him, which I would not say is pressing confirmation of anything in particular. I wouldn't take that at anything but with a grain of salt, because Goku is obviously topping Google Trends all around the world consistently, even without an anime, right? He is the face of shonen, as it were. But Vegeta is clearly seen as partially equivalent to the main character. Because of this, we might be looking at what some people theorized initially, which is a Goku and Vegeta celebration to sort of cap off and encapsulate the totality of not only Dragon Ball, with them being the two most important characters ultimately, but Dokkan Battle. A lot of the most hype units to release on Dokkan and Dragon Ball Legends, a lot of the strongest have been these characters, and it makes a lot of sense. Even though Goku started as the central character, Vegeta has sort of taken on a secondary main character role as far back as the Namek Saga, essentially, right? So it makes a lot of sense. I guess we could go into what we could see. Firstly, after looking at these countdown images, which is, pretty obvious. They essentially count to 10. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the 7 years, 8, 9, and then the 10th anniversary will of course reveal what we're getting. Curious that they use Gogeta for this when the most popular headliner for that anniversary was the Beast Gohan, but it makes sense. They're just using the free-to-play cards and stuff. So what does this mean? What does this mean for a celebration? Well, I guess we can head over and think about that. So just to start off, I just wanted to say that this is the Vegeta card because I wanted to get at least one of them. If you're new or returning, maybe you missed this card, maybe you just, this was released 2019 and Easy 8 last year at the start. So just in case you missed this somehow, here is the Super Saiyan Vegeta who transforms going from Super Saiyan all the way down to blue, right? And as I said before, these aren't miraculous or ground-breaking animations, but it's one of those things where the concept is pretty interesting. Frieza has one of these, and so does the Goku I talked about. The reason that this is so exciting is because they could decide to really cash in for the 10th anniversary. And I want to list a pro and I want to list a con. The pro would be that this is game design heaven. What they would need to do is give, maybe let's say the character transforms based on the slot it's in. You need to give each one a powerful identity. And the reason I actually uploaded the previous videos is because I wanted to talk about this as a possibility for the 10th anniversary. So if you haven't seen my video prior to this one, please check that out. It's about the character identity issue in Dokkan and how a lot of characters don't seem to have one. A lot of characters are flatly very similar. So back to what I was saying is that character identity would look really good for these two because you could give each form a visibly powerful, just explosive variation. Do you want defense? Here's the tank one. Do you want dodge? Here's the dodge one. Maybe the dodge one is less offensive minded in general. Maybe the one that just tanks with numbers has more punch, and maybe the offensive one simply lacks a lot of the defensive makeup but is more of a burster. You put him in slot 2 and you want to end the fight, and maybe he just explodes with a 100 million attack stat like the Techize Broly, right? These are possibilities, but not only are they possibilities, they are solutions to the issue that Dokkan currently has, which, as I said, is a lack of real solid identity. The risk reward for characters is usually very low if they're good, and the best characters in the game in terms of design space are typically very flawed, allowing you to have to patch up their decisions or their issues with decisions. That's kind of what we want to get to. That said, if you're someone who's like, okay, Goku and Vegeta, that's all right, but what comes after that? And I have an answer for that too. The answer to what they do for part 2, if they decide to go this route, is pretty obvious. Gogeta and Vegito are perfect for a Goku and Vegeta celebration. You can put them on the card art in the background like they do with Vegito's here. It looks gorgeous. More importantly, what they would have to sort of contend with is, if they want to go to this route, do the same thing with Vegeta and Gogeta. Maybe not to the extent that like he could go Super Saiyan 4, but let's get a Vegito who can choose to go base, Super Saiyan, or blue, and let's get a Gogeta who can choose to go base, Super Saiyan, or blue. This would solve a lot of the issues with Gogeta sort of being an odd, repeated unit from last year. He wouldn't feel as much like just a rehash, and they could easily slip back into this material without us feeling like it's stale. I think this is a perfect answer to the issue I just posed, and it gets the fusions in there for people who want fusions. Now, if you're asking me, Lone, is that what you specifically want? Excuse me. Do you want like fusions in Goku and Vegeta? And my answer is, Again, maybe it's the boring answer, but I'm kind of like whatever. Whatever happens is probably going to be pretty hype, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's going to do it for now. Let me just check if there's any other updates. I guess the final thing would be that Makafushigi Adventure will play on the home screen from January 19th to January 23rd. Apparently, 24th to 28th would be Head Chala. 29th would be We Gotta Power, which is Buu Saga, Super Vegito. That, if this is true, you know, there's your confirmation. You know, maybe that's the biggest thing you get out of this. Someone says, here comes the OG DB Copers. I think if we see DB represented at all, I think it'll be free to play. But yes, I think that's going to do it for me. Hopefully this is a fun little trek down the could be. But Goku and Vegeta is now looking very realistic, because it just seems odd for them to imagine this. Even though the red zone could have nothing to do with the main theme of the anniversary, imagine Dokkan's going to put out 2 red zones that literally don't match up with the anniversary content. Does that sound like Dokkan to you? It really doesn't. When have they done that before? I can't really think of a time. I can't even think of a time where I've watched videos from that era of Dokkan where they've done something like this before. So it's something to look out for. 2 is crazy. I really thought that this would come maybe in 2 or 3 months during Saiyan Day for the, you know, Daima stuff. But right now, that's feeling like Goku and Vegeta for 10th Annie. But ultimately, we'll see. If you like the video, subscribe to join the club, and peace, man. We all gonna make it.